Yung dekada 2010 sa NBA, to say the least, was a transition period. Dahil sa 3-point revolution, teams slowly drifted away from playing traditional big men. Kasi lahat gustong maglaro ng mabilis at sa sobrang luwag ng court, naging liability na sa depensa yung mga slow-footed bigs. Naging resulta isang dekada na nakita natin, nag-phase out ang post-up centers at ang pag-usbong ng 5-out small ball centers, resulting in arguably the weakest decade for NBA centers. Kaya sa video na to pag-uusapan natin yung 10 best centers nung 2010s. Listahan natin sa video na to based purely sa dekada 2010s. It's not about who's the better player overall. Basis lang for this video is lahat ng output ng player sa dekada. Hindi to encyclopedia. This is my list, my subjective assessment. So basically malaki ang chance na magkakaiba tayo ng 10 player. And that's totally normal. And this list is in no particular order. Bago tayo magsimula, gusto ko lang din i-address na yes, some people might consider some players as centers, minsan power forward, kahit na wishy-washy yung mismong posisyon na nilaro. For example, these players are 50-50 halos. LaMarcus Aldridge sa 2010s, yung minutes niya 60% as a PF and only 40% as a center. Susunod ay si Anthony Davis na 49% PF and 51% center. Though technically, pwede mo sabihin na 51 is still majority, pero masyado pa rin close for me. And siya na rin naman yung nagsabi na ayaw niya maging center. So anyway, simulan na natin yung listahan. Okay, so bago tayo pumunta sa mismong listahan, ito muna yung mga honorable mentions. Una sa honorable mentions ay si Brook Lopez. Isang consistent na player sa buong dekada. From Brooklyn to Milwaukee, he was a consistent high-level player and he managed to adapt to the modern game later in his career. Next ay si Al Jefferson. Malapit siya sa top 10 than we think. Pero si Big Al kasi ang tricky sa kanya, yung prime niya hati from late 2000s to early 2010s. So ang hirap i-consider na top 10 siya sa parehas. So nandun siya sa weird na gitna na ang hirap i-assess kung saan siya dapat. He was an All-NBA third team sa 2013-14 season and he led a Bakits team to its first playoff appearance since its notorious 7-win season. Another honorable mention ay si DeAndre Jordan. Most people isasama siya sa top 10. Pero ako kasi, sa mga bagay na binavalue ko, hindi siya gaanong nandun. Hindi niya ganong nache-check yung mga boxes, at least for me. Last sa honorable mentions ay si Nikola Jokic. To be clear, again, this is 2010s. Basis lang ng lahat ng gagawin natin rito ay from the 2010s data. Hindi sa kung ano sila naging player afterwards. Jokic is more of a 2020s player and he had less seasons na pasok sa 2010s than the next guy sa listahan natin. Joel Embiid. Embiid is really more of a 2020s player din, pero hindi ibig sabihin nun na i-ignore na natin yung ginawa niya sa dekada 2010s. From 2016 to 2020, nag-average si Joel Embiid ng 23 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game. Also sa dekada 2010s, Embiid was a 2-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Defensive Team, and 3-time All-Star. Again, like I said earlier, yung 2010s, mahinang era talaga in terms of centers. So when a player like Embiid came to the NBA, kahit na first few seasons niya lang sa NBA, he immediately was considered as one of the best bigs in the league. At mahirap i-doubt yung resume ng 2010s Embiid kasi along with the impressive numbers, meron din siyang playoff quote-unquote success. Sa 2017 to 18 season, the 76ers went as far as the conference semis. Sa 2018 to 19 season naman, they were one Kawhi Leonard miss away from advancing to the conference finals. So kumbaga, yes, Embiid is a 2020s player, pero what he did in the 2010s were also enough to merit a consideration para sa 2010s. Pau Gasol. Pero power forward si Pau Gasol, di ba? Well, since 2010s ang video natin, sa buong dekada, Pau Gasol played 28% of his minutes as a 4 and played 72% of his minutes as a 5. From 2010 to 2019, nag-average si Pau Gasol ng 15.1 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. Si Pau, mostly maaalala natin as a 2000s player. Yes, pero like Embiid kasi, mababaw yung pool ng center sa 2010s and what he did in that decade for me was enough to merit a consideration then. Okay, Sa Lakers, 2010 to 2014, nag-average siya ng 17.1 points, almost 10 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1.4 blocks per game. Those numbers are great. Overshadowed lang ng lack of success ng team because of injuries and alam niyo na, super team. Pero sa totoo lang, sobrang underrated nung stint ni Pau sa Chicago. Sa 2 seasons niya with the Bulls, he averaged 17.6 points, 11.4 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 2 blocks per game, and helped the Bulls to compete in the playoffs na LeBron lang no second round, to be honest. In terms of awards sa dekada 2010s, Pau Gasol was a 2-time All-NBA and a 3-time All-Star. Marc Gasol, isa sa mga icons ng grit and grind Grizzlies noong 2010s. Numbers ni Marc Gasol from 2010 to 2018 with the Grizzlies ay 14.9 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.7 assists, almost 1 steal, and 1.4 blocks per game. What made Marc special was his defensive ability combined sa kanyang high basketball IQ, passing skills, and the ability to stretch the floor. Yung skills na yon made him a crucial component sa success ng Memphis Grizzlies during the 2010s. For awards naman, nanalo siya ng Defensive Player of the Year noong 2013 and helped the team reach the Western Conference Finals in the same year. And also, isa rin siyang malaking factor sa championship ng Toronto Raptors kung saan nag-average siya ng 13.6 points, 7.9 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 1.1 steals, and 1.1 blocks that season. Joakim Noah, isang highly regarded center sa NBA during the 2010s era. Looking back, laging unang mapapansin sa kanya, medyo awkward gumalaw. Pero grabe yung skill set niya for a big man, to be honest. Grabe yung energy and intensity niya maglaro. During his prime years with the Bulls mula 2010 hanggang 2015, Joakim Noah established himself as one of the best defensive centers in the league. During that 5-year span, nag-average siya ng 10.2 points, 10.3 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 0.9 steals, and 1.5 blocks per game. Pero yung laro kasi ni Noah, hindi about sa numbers eh. It's about the intangibles. And he also played a vital role in leading the Bulls to multiple playoff appearances. Sa buong dekada ng 2010s, Noah was a 2-time All-Star, 3-time All-Defensive Team, 1 All-NBA, and 1 Defensive Player of the Year. Andre Drummond. Yung case ni Drummond, tricky kasi during his prime year sa Detroit siya naglaro. And honestly, sino bang nanonood ng Detroit games bukod sa Detroit fans? Anyway, sa buong dekada, nag-average siya ng 14.5 points, 3.8 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.6 blocks per game. He had 3 seasons kung saan nag-average siya ng at least 15 rebounds. 15 rebounds, yes. And si Drummond kasi, of course, ang argument against him, lack of playoff success. Pero again, kahit na empty numbers to, quote-unquote, yung numbers naman na ginawa niya absurd enough to merit a consideration. At some point, yung mga sinasabing empty numbers na yon, kung grabe naman talaga yung numbers, you just have to consider it as numbers. Chris Bosh. Okay, pero power forward si Chris Bosh, diba? Yes and no. Yes, sa buong career niya, he was considered as a power forward, pero nung 2010s kasi, Bosh often played the center position in small ball lineups with the Heat. And yung video na to kasi, diba, ay pang 2010, so we used the data from 2010s. Sa buong 2010s, 38% ng minutes ni Bosh were at the 4 and 62% at the 5. Chris Bosh was an integral part of the Miami Heatles alongside LeBron and Dwayne Wade. Yung versatility and scoring ability niya made him an excellent fit alongside those two kasi kaya niya mag-float lang sa perimeter and kapag binigay mo yung bola, kaya niyang umiscore. He had a smooth shooting stroke and could stretch the floor with his mid-range and 3-point shooting. Pero alam naman natin na bago maging stretch big si Bosh, he used to be someone who can dominate in the paint. From 2010 to 2016, nag-average si Bosh ng 18 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 1.8 assists per game alongside those 2 championships with the Miami Heat. Al Horford. Kilala sa kanyang well-rounded game and high basketball IQ. He was a versatile center who excelled on both ends of the court. Offensively, Horford had a reliable mid-range jump shot, good passing skills, and post-up game. Defensively naman, Horford was a solid rim protector and had the agility to defend on the perimeter occasionally. Sa buong 2010s, nag-average siya ng 14.6 points, 7.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and shot 36.5% sa 3 points. Rudy Gobert, widely regarded as one of the best defensive centers noong 2010s. Standing at 7'1" with long wingspan, perfect recipe sa isang defensive big man. From 2015 to 2020, nag-average siya ng 13.7 points, 12.3 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game. Sa panahon din na yon, 3-time All-Star siya, 4-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Defense, and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, love him or hate him, andito pa rin siya dapat sa listahan. DeMarcus Cousins, a highly skilled center known for his scoring ability, rebounding prowess, and versatility. He was one of the best offensive bigs we've ever seen sa generation na to. Yung combination ng pagiging dominant big niya while also being able to play in the perimeter was something special. Sa buong 2010s, nag-average si Boogie ng 20.4 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game. And those numbers doesn't give justice sa kung gaanong kadominante talaga si Boogie nung mismong peak years niya with Sacramento. Dwight Howard. Si Dwight, another example ng player na nag-peak sa late 2000s and early 2010s. So medyo gitna. Pero kung iisipin natin, kahit na yung legacy ni Dwight sa 2010s were clouded by criticisms and controversy and mockery, grabe pa rin yung basketball na nilaro niya sa dekada. And people only discredit Dwight because of things outside the actual basketball game. Puro tungkol sa mga narratives. And unfortunately, I talk about basketball. And basketball says na arguably, dapat nga kasali si Dwight sa top 75 eh. Buong 2010s, nag-average siya ng 16.2 points, 12 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks per game. Kahit na yung 2010s, dito na nag-fall off yung career ni Dwight, grabe pa rin yung pinakita niya kumpara sa mga ibang centers. At yan ang 10 best centers sa dekada 2010s.